In most games, the answer to the question of how many bosses you can one-shot at level 1 is 0. Fortunately for us, Dark Souls is not most games. It's very broken. In this video, I'm going to be exploring how many bosses you can one-shot without leveling your character a single time. We will also be focusing on how many attacks are required to beat every boss in the game, and see how low we can get that number. I'm going to do an initial run-through just focusing on attacks, and then we're going to explore how we can lower that number even more through other mechanics. As for rules, we just can't level up. Glitches are completely fair game. One shot in this challenge will refer to actions performed by our character. So if I perform a single attack that hits a boss multiple times, it will still only count as one attack, as I only performed one action. We will also only be counting attacks that directly affect the boss's health bar. For example, if we have to clear out other enemies in a boss room before we can one-shot the boss, those will not count towards the total attacks. With that said, let's begin. To start off, we're going to proceed through the Asylum like normal, picking up our gear as we go through, until we get to the fog gate leading to the Asylum Demon. Once there, we'll want to clear out the 3 nearby hollows. With that done, we're going to perform true Asylum skip by dropping an item at the right corner of the fog gate, angling our camera a specific way, turning without moving, then enter the fog gate and pick up the item 1 frame later. This will cause us to enter the fog gate at a weird angle, clipping us into the wall and allowing us to escape the Asylum without fighting the demon. I have a dedicated tutorial for this skip, which I'll link in the description. We don't have the firepower to one-shot the demon currently, so we'll be back later. Grab the soul on your way out, then proceed to Lordran. Once there, grab the humanity off the well, and use the brightness dupe to use 99 of the soul we picked up. Head into the Undead Burg and jump through the gap in the wall. Climb onto the nearby ladder, back off of it, and turn around as your character finishes fully standing up to end up on top of the ladder. Then just roll at the crenellations to get out of bounds. Speak to the female undead merchant to buy a blooming purple moss clump, a homeward bone, and 999 wooden arrows. From there, drop down a couple times to end up in the depths. Next, you'll want to make a tight jump onto a tunnel. Head to the end of the tunnel and throw a fireball a bit to the left to break the barrel Laurentius is trapped in and free him. Warp back to Firelink, make sure you freed Laurentius, then head to New Londo Ruins. Immediately head into the Valley of Drakes, grabbing the soul behind the door and the soul between the dragon's talons along the way. Next, we're going to get one of the key items involved in any one-shot challenge, the red tear stone ring. Carry on to Darkroot Basin to grab the grass crest shield, then start heading towards the Undead Parish, grabbing the leather set and longbow along the way. When you arrive at Andre, bring up a drop prompt on your wooden arrows to store a quantity of 999 in memory. Then utilize the brightness dupe to use 999 of the first soul we picked up. With that done, buy 99 Titanite shards, the crest of Artorias, and a battle axe. Upgrade the battle axe to +5. Next, use the prompt swap glitch from the standard arrows to the longsword. Buy 999 longswords. Bringing up a prompt on the longsword after this will store a quantity of -998 in memory. We can then duplicate all of our consumables by dropping negative quantities of them using the brightness dupe. When you're done duping, take the elevator back to Firelink, drop all but one of the soul items, and utilize quantity storage and the brightness dupe to use 999 of the one remaining in our inventory. You can then pick up the remaining souls off the ground. Now speak to Laurentius to buy all of his spells and upgrade the Pyromancy Flame to +15. We won't need most of the spells, but we have effectively unlimited souls, so why not? Next, return to the Burg and head over to the male undead merchant. Buy 99 firebombs and Lloyd talismans, and the residence key. Head back the way you came, make a tight jump over this railing, and quickly save and quit. You'll load back in on top of the railing. Look towards the chimney on the building across, and use a light swing with the straight sword hilt to fling yourself onto the lower wall. From there, you can drop down to the lower Burg. Help the dogs warm up, then free Griggs. Return to Firelink, and buy all of Griggs' spells, as well as the rings he sells. Despite only stating that it boosts sorceries, the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring affects pyromancies as well. Now is a good time to equip it, along with the Red Tearstone Ring. Take the back entrance into Blighttown, and utilize the leather set to meme roll your way down to Quelaag. Buy all of her spells, and ascend the Pyromancy Flame to +5. After that, Quelaag will have an unfortunate accident where she falls on her battle axe and leaves behind Fire Tempest for us. Return to Firelink and attune Combustion and Great Fireball. Next, we're going to utilize the move swap glitch to two-hand our Pyromancy Flame in our left hand. You may be wondering why, as it's not a melee weapon, so it won't be inheriting the running attack from a right-hand weapon. Well, this lets us perform the spell swap glitch with only a single spell tool, and this is going to come in handy very soon. Make your way through the door in Darkroot Garden, and head down to the Hydra. Utilize Great Fireball to take out the Hydra. When you run out of casts, you can utilize the Spell Swap glitch to have effectively infinite more casts. Spell Swap is performed by casting one spell with the spell tool in one hand, and then one frame later casting a second spell on the tool in your other hand. The result is that you'll get the animation of the first spell with the effect of the second. Thanks to Move Swap, we can achieve this with the Pyromancy Flame alone. Quit out to reload the area after taking out the Hydra, then utilize Spell Swap to take out the Golden Golem and free Dusk. Speak to Dusk, head to the shore to summon her and buy all of her spells, then return to where she was to collect her crown, which will buff our pyromancies even more. Head back to Firelink, then return to Blighttown, head through backwards, and take out the Wall Hugger to get the last of our buffs, Power Within. Next we want the Chaos Storm Pyromancy, but we're not ready to take on Quelaag yet, so we're going to skip her. First, trigger her cutscene. Next, follow this path to get to this pillar. Once you're here, make sure you're at full health and slowly walk off the ledge to land on the platform below. Backstep immediately when you land, as there's a kill plane directly in front of us. Reload to reset the death cam, then jump over the dark spot on the floor in front of us. This will trigger the death cam and avoid the kill plane. Jump to the branch off to the right, heal up, and then carefully walk down to the lowest point of the branch. If we drop from here, we'll survive with the death cam still active. Now navigate your way through the swamp, past the enemies, and into Quelaag's boss room. Things will stop being rendered when you get there, so you'll need to blindly navigate your way to the stable ground of the staircase beyond her boss room. To give a quick rundown of how I do it, I continue to the right until I hit a wall. I then follow that wall up until I'm forced to the right again. From there, I continue to the right until I'm forced to move up again, which tells me I've made it to the staircase. Once there, you can save and quit. Upon loading back in, we can ring the bell and then head down to Quelaag's sister. Use the brightness dupe to turn 1 humanity into 99, then join up with the Chaos Covenant and offer 30 humanity to receive Chaos Storm and unlock the shortcut to the Bed of Chaos for later. We have one final item to collect to complete our setup. Head into the Catacombs. Head through like normal, then drop off here to get to the lower ledge. From there, make your way backwards, roll through the wall, and collect the Dark Moon Seance Ring. Our initial setup is finally complete. Let's one-shot some bosses. First on our list is the Taurus Demon. This one's easy. Pop Power Within, and Fire Tempest will destroy him. Next up is Capra. We're going to make this one nice and easy as well. Return to the ladder we used to get into the depths earlier. This time around, we're going to roll the opposite way, and then utilize the straight sword hilt to fling ourselves to the opposite side. From there, move to the whitish spot you can see on one of the bricks, look to the building across, and fling yourself once more. From here, we can roll into the Capra Demon's arena without triggering his AI. We'll still need to deal with the dogs, and that's where the battle axe comes into play. With the dogs dealt with, Power Within and Fire Tempest will easily take out Capra. Next up is the Gaping Dragon. To get to him quickly, continue on from where we rescued Laurentius, following this path to get back in bounds. Once here, walk up to the railing to leer up one of the rats, and then use the battle axe to take it out. Now we're going to be utilizing our first red tearstone ring setup. Equip the dust crown ring and backstep twice from the railing. Start running and jump as soon as possible, followed by immediately saving and quitting. If done correctly, you'll load back in on the railing. From there, jump directly into the Gaping Dragon's arena. Thanks to the fall damage, we'll be at nearly the perfect health for the red tearstone ring when we use Power Within. With the buffs provided by Power Within and the red tearstone ring, we'll one-shot the Gaping Dragon as long as Fire Tempest lands twice. The next boss on our list is the Gargoyles. Before we take them out, we'll want to deal with Lautrec. Since we already rung the lower bell, if we ring the upper bell, he'll immediately kill Anastasia, which we want to avoid. We also want the Fap ring, so by dealing with him now, we'll get 2 birds stoned at once. First collect the mystery key, then visit Lautrec and send him to the afterlife. Collect the Fap ring, and we're ready to take on the Gargoyles. For the Gargoyles, Power Within and Fire Tempest will one-shot each of them easily. Unfortunately, the second Gargoyle doesn't enter the fight until the first one gets below a health threshold, and he's also not hittable until his landing animation finishes, so we're going to need 2 total attacks to win here. Ring the bell, and we're off to Sen's Fortress. Proceed through Sen's Fortress as normal, going straight to the Iron Golem. If you want to trigger the red tearstone ring, equip the dust crown ring, and get hit by the archer. Fire Tempest and Power Within will make short work of the Golem. On your way through Anor Londo, move the staircase all the way down, and rest at the Dark Moon Tomb bonfire, so we have it as a warp option for later. Proceed through the rest of Anor Londo as normal, until you get to the bonfire before Ornstein and Smough. Here we're going to equip the Dark Moon Seance Ring and the Dust Crown Ring, then swap Fire Tempest for Chaos Storm. This is the only way we can have both it and Power Within attuned at the same time. Swap the Dust Crown Ring back to the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring, and drop off at the top of the stairs leading to O&S, and we'll be close to Red Tearstone Ring range. Now we're going to enter the fight to trigger the cutscene, and then save and quit. We're going to take advantage of the same trick we did to skip the Asylum Demon to skip the boss fight trigger here. This will allow us to enter the boss room with their AI disabled. I have a dedicated tutorial for this skip, which I will link in the description. For this fight, we'll want to use Power Within, then swap the Dark Moon Seance Ring for the Red Tearstone Ring. This will unattune Power Within, but since we already used it, we don't care anyway. Use Chaos Storm, and you should take out one of the bosses, ideally Ornstein. That's not what happened in this clip, but it's still possible to one-shot Super Ornstein afterwards if you land both a hit from the fire and a hit from the lava. You'll need to touch the fight trigger for Super Ornstein to appear. As you can see, Super Ornstein didn't go so well for me. Here's the clip where I did things properly. With the right RNG, Super Smough will spawn into the lava from the first attack, making it so a hit from the fire and a hit from the lava will take him out with our second attack. Unfortunately, due to there being 2 bosses, we have to use 2 attacks here. After getting the Lord Vessel from Guinevere, return to Firelink and place it. Then return to Anor Londo and head for the Duke's Archives. Attune Great Combustion and Fall Control. On your way through the archives, take out the crystal golem to get the broken pendant. Send up the elevator, then save and quit. We're going to perform Duke Warp by locking onto this enemy, walking left into this corner, rolling left, rolling right, and then saving and quitting. This will cause us to load back in on the elevator's railing, out of bounds. From there, we can utilize Move Swap and Spell Swap to cast Fall Control, drop down, and save and quit as we touch the ground to survive the fall. By doing this, we've bypassed the prison sequence entirely, and can carry on to the bonfire. Here we're going to go back to the old reliable combination of Fire Tempest and Power Within. Along the way to Seath, equip the Dusk Crown Ring and drop off here to get close to Red Tearstone Ring range. Trigger the fight with Seath, use Power Within, break the crystal, and if Fire Tempest hits twice, you'll one-shot him no problem. Next, we're going to return to Darkroot Garden and head to the Moonlight Butterfly. You can use the Dusk Crown Ring and a couple drops from here to trigger the Red Tearstone Ring. Power Within and Great Fireball will easily take out the butterfly. Next up is Seath, who I don't have a great Red Tearstone Ring set up for. Repeatedly jumping off this ledge works, but it's pretty slow. Regardless of how you set up the ring, Power Within and Fire Tempest work just as well here as anywhere else. Return to where we rescued Dusk to enter the DLC. There's no good way to set up the Red Tearstone Ring for the Guardian, but fortunately, we don't need it. Power Within and Fire Tempest are more than enough on their own to get a one-shot. Meme roll down the elevator shaft to quickly get to Artorias. For setting up the Red Tearstone Ring, use the Dusk Crown Ring and drop off on the path that leads to Kalameet. Use Power Within, and with the right luck, Fire Tempest will hit Artorias twice, giving us a one-shot. Next up, attune Combustion and Hidden Body. Equip the Fap Ring, the Leather Set, and the Hand Axe to set us up for meme rolling. Thanks to the Fap Ring, we have enough stamina to meme roll down the next elevator shaft, allowing us to skip to the dungeon. Set up Move Swap, and then use Spell Swap to cast Hidden Body, and make the journey through the next area much easier. Grab the bonfire, then head over and grab Dark Bead. We're done with the DLC for now, we'll be back later to finish it off. If you want to save the Fap Ring for later, you can utilize the Drop Swap glitch to drop it, which will unequip it without it breaking. Using Turbo makes this very easy to do. It's finally time to take on Quelaag. Equip the Dark Moon Seance Ring, then attune Combustion, Dark Bead, and Power Within. For setting up the Red Tearstone Ring, you can utilize the walls outside Quelaag's arena to trick the game into thinking you're falling. When you're ready, cast Power Within, swap the Dark Moon Seance Ring for the other buff ring, and spell swap Combustion into Dark Bead to get an easy one-shot. We're going to use the exact same technique we did with Quelaag with Ceaseless. Use the Dusk Crown Ring and drop off here for an easy ring setup. Since Ceaseless doesn't aggro until you attack him or loot his sister's corpse, there's not even a threat while doing this. Next up is Firesage, who despite his name, is not immune to fire. Utilize the Dusk Crown Ring and block a couple fire attacks from one of the statues for an easy ring setup. Our normal setup of Power Within and Fire Tempest does the trick here, though you'll need to land 3 hits to get a one-shot. In this case, I took him down with me. The Centipede Demon is going to be similar to Quelaag and Ceaseless. Take a bit of fall damage on your way down. Take more damage as you're rolling over the lava to the safer area. Cast Power Within and swap rings. Lure him in, then spell swap to Dark Bead for a one-shot. Despite being the most despised boss in the entire Souls series, the Bed of Chaos is by far the easiest boss to one-shot. Use firebombs to quickly get to the actual boss, then literally any form of damage will one-shot her as she has exactly 1 health. It's time to return to the catacombs and head to Pinwheel. The punching bag of Dark Souls 1 continues to be a punching bag in this challenge, as Fire Tempest and Power Within easily one-shot him. Nito is next, and the red Tearstone ring will give us the necessary damage without using Power Within. It's now time to return to the Asylum. Because we glitched our way out, the door is closed, and we'll need to utilize a Force Quit Wrong Warp to get back inside. You'll load back in at the cell we started in, where we'll want to take out the Black Knight and collect the Peculiar Doll. Because the Asylum Demon is still alive, we have a unique opportunity here. Open the door, then back away from it so the Asylum Demon lines up centered in his room. Run past him and drop down into the Stray Demon's room. If you quickly roll off to the side, he won't notice you and will continue patrolling. The Asylum Demon will try to return to his home location, but due to the giant hole in the floor, he'll fall down into the Stray Demon's room. The hollows may also fall down, so use your battle axe to take them out if they do. With the demons reunited, use Power Within, and with the right RNG, we can take out both demons with a single attack. Two bosses for the price of one. Next, we're going to head into the Painted World. For an easy ring setup, take out the Undead Dragon, restock on spells, then jump attack the dragon's ass to make it stand up. Equip the Dusk Crown Ring, and drop down. Priscilla makes a one-shot nice and easy, as she doesn't aggro until attacked, and by that time, it's too late for her. Gwyndolin is our next target. There's no easy way to set up the red Tearstone ring here, but fortunately we don't need it. Power Within and Fire Tempest are enough for a one-shot. We'll want to try to get him to use his bow attack as we get close, since it has a long recovery animation. His hitbox lingers for a while after he visually teleports, so there's enough time to get 2 hits with Fire Tempest for a one-shot. It's time to return to the DLC. Utilize Hidden Body to run over to the Mimic with the Crest Key, then use a Lloyd's Talisman to collect it. Head into Kalameet's arena to trigger him flying in, then head up to Goff and get Kalameet shot down. The red Tearstone ring setup for Kalameet is quite easy, just make a couple drops with the Dust Crown ring. Getting the one shot is nowhere near as easy though. We need all 3 hits from Fire Tempest to land, and there are a lot of RNG dependent factors that can prevent that from happening. When everything goes right though, it's a pretty satisfying kill. We're now on to the last of the DLC bosses, Manus. One of the hardest bosses to achieve a one-shot on. The trouble with Manus is that he has close to 6,700 health. Even if we land all 3 hits from Fire Tempest, we'll only deal about 6,000 damage. So it's impossible, right? Wrong, there actually is a way. Enemies take more damage when they're airborne. Manus can dodge, which puts him in this state, and he also has a few attacks that put him in this state. If we manage to land an attack while he's airborne, we'll get an extra 800 damage or so. So if we land 3 hits, and one of those hits happens while he's airborne, a one-shot is possible. Of course, this is easier said than done, and requires extreme luck. After several hours of attempts over the course of a day, this finally happened. But Manus is not the worst boss to one-shot. The 4 kings have roughly 9,500 health total. Not only that, but we're required to wear the crest of Artorias, so we're forced to choose between the red Tearstone ring and the bellowing dragon crest ring. There is one advantage here though. There are 4 separate bosses you can hit at once. I did some testing with the kings unable to hit me, and one shot was possible. With the red Tearstone ring, I was getting around 2,000 damage per hit, meaning that if I landed 5 total hits, the one shot would be achieved. Achieving this legitimately was going to be an entirely different beast. First, I had to come up with a build for this. I experimented with a couple ideas, but ultimately, this is what I settled on. First, we'll want Havel's set. Next, we'll want to return to Sen's Fortress to get the covetous gold serpent ring. Make your way into New Lana Ruins, get the key, and drain the area. Pop some humanity, and farm Dark Wraiths until you get the Dark Hand. We'll now want to upgrade our Estus to +3, grabbing the 3 easily available Firekeeper souls. Kindle the Firelink bonfire to max, perform Seal Skip, and we're ready to attempt this. This one-shot took multiple hours over the course of about 3 days to finally pull off. Originally, I was attempting this with the giant set with the red Tearstone ring. With that setup though, you either had to hope you got knocked into red Tearstone ring range as you went in for the attack, or that you were already in it and didn't get hit as you attacked. Basically, although technically possible, it was far too unreliable. If the ring wasn't active, you'd only deal about 1,200 damage per hit, meaning you'd need to land 8 attacks for a one-shot. You also only had enough poise to get hit once without staggering, which often just leads to your attack being interrupted. With the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring, our attacks deal around 1600 damage per hit, meaning we need to land 6 hits for a one-shot. But we don't need to be at any specific amount of health, which makes this much more viable. Havel's set also allows us to get hit twice without staggering, giving us a much better chance of actually getting our attack off. The rest of the strategy was just to slowly lure the kings around the arena, moving when necessary, using the Dark Hand to block the homing magic attacks, and when all of the kings spawn, if at least 3 of them got close enough together, go in for the attack. I tried to lure them around the invisible edge of the arena, as they seemed more likely to get together that way. I'll let the rest of the clip play out in its entirety, as that way you can see everything involved. This was, without a doubt, the hardest one-shot to achieve in this run, and I was almost in disbelief when it finally happened. We have one final boss to one-shot, and it's going to be a breeze compared to the previous 2. Offer the souls to the Lord Vessel, let the first Black Knight hit you while you're wearing Havel's armor, and save and quit outside Gwyn's Fog Gate. Pop Power Within, parry Gwyn, and Fire Tempest will one-shot him with 2 hits. And so, it took 27 attacks to beat the game's 26 bosses. But we're not done yet. I think we can get that number down a bit. Let's head all the way back to the Taurus Demon. What's better than a one-shot kill? A zero-shot kill. By performing a specific series of actions, we can pretty consistently get him to fall off the ledge in his arena, allowing us to beat him without attacking at all. Next, on the way through Sen's Fortress, we can stop in past where the first boulder drops to grab the Ring of Steel Protection. After getting through Anor Londo, pay the Giant Blacksmith a visit, buy 99 Twinkling Titanite, the Giant set, and upgrade the entire set to +5. Now it's time to take on O&S again. This time we're going to use the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring and the Fap Ring with Power Within to make sure we take out Smough in the first phase. We're then going to swap the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring for the Ring of Steel Protection to maximize our defense. You may also notice that I upgraded my Estus early this time around. This is all to prepare for this next part. Wait for Power Within to wear off, heal up, and trigger Ornstein to spawn. Now for the hard part. We need to get Ornstein to grab us near one of the windows. Ornstein's grab is not possible to escape, which is why we maximized our defense. We'll want to bait him into this corner and then position so Ornstein's back is facing the window. This is because his grab starts with him hopping backwards. When he starts the grab, run around him so he faces the window as he grabs you. You'll tank the grab easily in this setup, and he'll walk through the wall and fall out of bounds. A handful of seconds later, he'll die to the fall, and we've successfully brought O&S down to only requiring one attack. Next up is the Centipede Demon. This one is very similar to Ornstein, but much easier. Lure him over to the back left corner of his arena, let him grab you, and then you can button mash to escape his grab without ever taking damage. He'll clip into the wall and rise to the ceiling of his arena. From there, just walk over by the fog gate, he'll fall down, and we've achieved a 0 shot. Are there any more attacks we can save? There's potentially one more, but I think it's debatable if it should count. For this, we're going to head into the Painted World and grab a largely overlooked spell, Firesage. Firesage is unique in that as long as you hold down the attack button, you will perform one continuous attack. The debate here will be if a continuous attack counts as one shot or multiple. If you think it should count, it's possible to one-shot the gargoyles as well. Just lure the first gargoyle to the back of the arena, hit him until he's dead, and continue holding the attack button until the second gargoyle is dead too. All done in one continuous action. If this counts, the final total of attacks is 23, and if not, it's 24. Either way, even at level 1, you can one-shot or zero-shot every boss individually. That's about it for this video. I hope you found it entertaining, and I will see you guys in another video.